over 6 decades, Bank of Industry has been here, driving Nigeria's industrial development through financial and business support services to micro enterprises, small and medium enterprises, and large enterprises across Nigeria. Leveraging on strategic partnerships, we provide equipment financing, working capital, and support to enterprises in key sectors of Nigeria's economy, including youth and women-led enterprises. Whatever your business needs, starting up, expansion, diversification, modernization, or rehabilitation, we'll be here, always to support you. Bank of Industry, transforming Nigeria's industrial sector.
Hello and welcome to BOI Impact. Today's program is a continuation of the exposé on the can-do spirit of Nigerian entrepreneurs who are blazing the trail in the manufacturing sector with the active support of the Bank of Industry. BOI's Impact crew was in Niger State recently to visit Abuja Steel Mills Limited, a BOI-supported venture which is a subsidiary of African Industry Group. Abuja Steel Mills Limited was incorporated in 2004 to engage in the manufacturing of high-strength formed rebars and billets of various sizes that conforms to the Standard Organization of Nigeria's NRS 117/2004 grade 550 standards, has been supported by BOI in the last 10 years as part of the bank's effort in making Nigeria self-sufficient in steel production. Before BOI's intervention, the company had only 90,000 metric tons melting capacity and 125,000 metric tons rolling capacity per annum. However, with the intervention of the Bank of Industry, Abuja Steel Mills Limited now has 162,000 metric tons melting capacity and 150,000 metric tons rolling capacity per annum, thereby saving the country considerable foreign exchange that could have been spent on importing these metal products. One of the notable low-hanging fruits of the bank's intervention is the generation of over 1,000 direct and indirect employment from the 350 direct and indirect employment before the Bank of Industry's intervention. Here are highlights of the visit to the factory in Niger State and the interviews that were conducted. I am Hadiza Oyewunmi. Do stay tuned. Abuja Steel Mills Limited is the first integrated steel manufacturing plant in north-central part of Nigeria that produces bars which generates employment for its local community. Executive Director, Corporate Affairs, African Industries Group, Uche Amadi, tells us more in this interview.
Abuja Steel Mills is one of the integrated steel manufacturing plants located in the north central of Nigeria, taking care of 3 geopolitical zones in the north, consisting about 18 states plus FCT. It's located in a place called Sabon in Niger State and incorporated in 2004. Project started in 2011 and full production in 2013, just to take care of the northern market, in particular the FCT, where there were a lot of construction as a federal capital, and a huge market in the north. Because all other manufacturing plants we have all located in the south, in particular Lagos and Ogun State. So this is the first was located in the North Central and took care of the northern market. And as it stands, first, one of also why we took it there was to look after this very market, at the same time for the local materials, especially the raw materials for these integrated plants, are all in abundance in the northern region. So in 2013, when the first production started, first, the major raw material are scrap, steel scraps. And these various steel scraps are in abundance in the north. And the process is usually these scraps are melted, they go through a melting process. At inception, the melting capacity was 90,000 metric tons. And after melting, they are normally turned into ingots or billets and rolled into the rolling mill. And the rolling capacity as at that time was about 120 metric tons. So there was a gap of rolling out the very steel. So in 2018, there was the need to have an expansion, and Bank of Industry was handy to assist in the very expansion program as well. Though from inception, they are the backbone of the very project. In 2018, we have to move up. Now, this time, the melting process now increased to 165 and the production capacity to 150. That expansion process is still going on. In 2022, last year, we have also the plan of increasing the melting capacity to 240 with the help of Bank of Industry, and the rolling mill capacity of 215 today. And essentially what we have are mainly rolling out what we call rebars. Well, in the local parlance, they call it iron rod. But these are rebars, different categories, different sizes and shapes, ranging from the lowest size to the highest size, of from 8 mm to 32 mm. In the past, most of our scraps are bought from the north, moved down to Lagos, and after manufacturing in Lagos, we move again the finished goods again to the north. So this double handling, now we needed to reduce it by, if possible, even more than half. So the goods are there, we get the raw material there in the north, the goods are also sold in the north. Today, we do not talk about importing steel into this country. And this very steel produced at Abuja Steel meets the standard, the international standard. We've been able to save a lot of foreign exchange. Instead of importing some of these very items, this steel, we get the same international standard steel produced at Abuja Steel Mill. We are even earning foreign exchange for this country because part of, we're also on the area of export drive of our steel, not only to consume locally in Nigeria, but even to the West African region. This product also moved across. But most interesting thing you might like to hear is that we're able to generate close to 1,000 employment to this very local suburb. At the same time, we have always shared this very concept that it has also created some, what I call environmental sanitation, in the sense that these scraps used to be a kind of environmental hazards that we've been able to clear from the streets. What happened to be a waste has turned to be a wealth. So moving from waste to wealth.
The CEO of Abuja Steel Unit of African Industries Group, Rajev Ranjan, disclosed that the company has over 75% local employees.
Steel business is a very particular thing and you need expert for that field. So initially we have hired expats from India and we have attached local persons with them. and gradually they are being trained. Some of have been already trained, and they are being replaced with the expats. And this is a continuous process. Each and every stage, expat are training the local guy, and that is how we are developing local talent. So we are, having quite good number of locals with us. There are scrap agents, so many scrap agents available in the country, and we are having various collection centers at different cities. So we have our persons there. Scrap is first being collected at the local collection centers, and then it is being transported to our various steel plants. Abuja is closest, so they are having advantage of freight and availability. So first, after collecting at the collection center, it is being stored in our plant, and then we process that scrap as per our requirement, because there are various category of scraps.
Divisional Head Large Enterprises 2 at the Bank of Industry, Olayinka Mubarak, also disclosed how the support of the Bank of Industry has assisted the company to grow.
For Abuja Steel, I mean, it's a story of something that you could actually see from inception till date. You'll be able to appreciate what he has done. And aside that too, they provide over 1,000 employment opportunities for both direct and indirect labor in Suleja axis. And also in terms of foreign exchange earnings substitution, for most of their production, they've actually backward integrated everything from A to Z.
Environmental, Quality and Sustainability Head African Industries Group said the Abuja Steel Mills Limited is upgrading and modernizing its steel mills plant with more advanced and safe technology.
AIG is very particular in selecting the technology, which is safe, which is environment friendly, which is capable of producing high quality of products. So once we have selected the technology, our half the problem is solved already. Features, there are many safety features. Our machines make less noise. Our machine produce less pollution. We have pollution control equipments installed. We have various guards on the machines, protection on the machines. So these are very important at the first place. Then comes the machine and people interaction where maximum accidents happen, and there comes the framework. We have put a HSC framework in place where each and every activity in every unit is assessed for the risk, and then control measures are put in place.
Supervisor Steel Melting Shop Lab at Abuja Steel Mills Limited, Ikemefuna Okafo, showed us how the company ensures bars and billets are of required standard.
What we do here is we analyze steel samples, check the chemical compositions of the steel samples. That's actually what we do here. Here is a piece of the sample. This is called a billet sample, called a billet number. During casting, we take these samples, we ask them to cut samples for us, which we check. We have to run analysis on it to find out the chemical composition of this billet. Once we spark like this, we go through them and look at it very well. Make sure it falls within the standard. And once it falls within the standard, we take those billets and stack them according to a certain approved standard within the company called the carbon equivalent range.
Group Financial Officer and CEO of Steel Manufacturing African Industries Group, Munish Mondi, mentioned some of the achievements of the company in terms of its staff strength, investment, and production capacity.
See, BOI is associated with the Abuja Steel from inception. So first financing was being done by BOI. So initially the melting capacity was roughly 90,000 metric tons and rolling capacity was 120,000 metric tons per annum. So there was a 30,000 metric tons gap, so which used to be filled by importation of billets. In 2018, we went for expansion and BOI again provided support. So we put one more furnace and we also put shredder to process the scrap, and we put few more stands into rolling mills. So that way we were able to achieve rolling capacity of almost 150,000 metric tons and melting capacity of 165,000 metric tons. So importation of billets stopped. So that was again financed by Bank of Industry. Then now we are going for another expansion where we are going to lay 132 kV line, as well as we are going to put one more furnace. We are going to add few more stands, and now idea is to take our rolling capacity to roughly 215,000 metric tons and melting capacity to roughly 250,000 metric tons. So all these things are being financed by Bank of Industries. So, and Abuja Steel Mills is giving employment to almost 1,000 families directly or indirectly, and all it due to Bank of Industry.
Mrs. Mubarak also spoke further on the relationship between BOI and Abuja Steel Mills Limited.
Abuja Steel has been a customer of the bank since 2013. We started the relationship together when Abuja Steel started production, and they approached the Bank of Industry, which were able to support them back then. And based on their track record, their repayment history, and the relationship was mutually beneficial between BOI and Abuja Steel, that accumulated into so many other facilities to the group.
Aside from the Bank of Industry's support of Abuja Steel Mills' production of reinforcement bars and billets, BOI also supported the company to set up its 11 megawatts captive solar power plant.
We needed an alternate source of electricity. We only had grid supply. We needed another source of supply, electricity supply, that can be cost effective and also be environment friendly. We then conceptualized the idea of 11 megawatt solar power plant, and we installed this power plant, which is now covering about 20% of our power requirement in Abuja Steel Mills. So we have all the solar panels placed. We have a 33 kV network installed there. So the DC power is generated. It is generated on the panels. When the light strikes, the electrons move and electricity is generated, and it is direct current, which is being converted into AC current that we use in our households, in our industries. So that is converted from low voltage to high voltage of 33 kV, and it is being fed to Abuja Steel Mills.
My name is Ashi Stephen Ahide. I welcome you all to Abuja Steel Solar Plant. This is the biggest solar plant you can find in Nigeria, biggest operation functioning solar plant you can find in Nigeria. It has a capacity of 11 megawatts AC, and we use almost more than 20,000 solar panels to build up this plant. This is a transformer. You can see we have two transformers here. Each of these transformers is rated 6 MVA. And behind the transformer over there, we have LT panel, that is low tension panel. Yes, as you can see over there. And this side, right in front of the transformers, you can see inside that structure there, we have high tension panel. In this panel, we have two incomers. From here, you can see this is incomer 1. And here is incomer 2. And in the middle here is the main breaker. This is the main panel, where the main breaker is.
So first financing, 1 megawatt was financed by Bank of Industry, 10 megawatt was financed by the Bank of Industry. So the whole financing is being done for the solar power project by the Bank of Industry. And for other projects also, our first choice is Bank of Industry. This relationship is extremely, extremely important, and this relationship is very well developed. So, whenever we conceptualize any project, I don't think there was any project which we started without discussing with Bank of Industry.
It's there for people to see. It's there for other companies to emulate if they can do it. I mean, what stops every other person from doing that? Because, I mean, there will be a lot of, the energy will be cleaner in terms of cost of running your plant will be far, far cheaper, you understand? So, and then we're all talking about moving away from this energy to the next energy. And I mean, really, that's the future. I mean, we need to applaud them for doing that. And BOI is calling on other companies out there that really wants to move into the cleaner space, wants to go into the solar panel. The Abuja Steel is a case in study. They can go there to check the technology they use, and then, I mean, we are here to support in terms of financing that.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Bank of Industry, Mr. Olukaide Piton, at an interview, reiterated that the Bank of Industry will continue to support entrepreneurs in the country.
It is nice to talk of SMEs as engine of growth, but you cannot allow the large enterprises to die, because actually some of these SMEs, they feed the bigger companies, and the bigger companies can actually employ more people, and the value chain that they're going to touch is extensive. So we would like to do more of those kind of projects.
I hope you saw firsthand how Abuja Steel Mills Limited increased its employment capacity from 350 direct and indirect jobs to over 1,000 direct and indirect jobs after the bank's intervention. As we have repeatedly said on this program, BOI supports potentially viable projects with considerable developmental impact and businesses that have extensive value chain that generate significant multiplier effects that create huge employment opportunities and also stimulate demand for locally sourced raw materials that could be converted into finished products. In addition to financial assistance, BOI also renders business advisory services to its customers. Why not visit us today? You can also become a beneficiary of the Bank of Industry services too. Thank you for watching today's episode of BOI Impact. I am Hadiza Oyewunmi. Bye for now.